Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. This is episode 4 of our Tatarigoroshi chapter. I apologize. It's been a while since we've played this game, and it's going to be a while till we play it again. I have family that's coming to visit me this week, and they're going to be staying with me for about 7 or 8 days, so my upload schedule is going to be kind of wonky. So if you're not seeing Higurashi for a while, I do have other visual novels available on my channel. We have Deathmark. I have a couple of Danganronpa from way back, if you like that series. I have Doki Doki Literature Club. So I do have other things that are available, but you're gonna have to wait on Higurashi for a while until I clear out the fam. But anyway, let's go ahead and enjoy what we have here. Episode 4.
じゃあ行ってくるよ。
車に気をつけるのよ。晩ご飯までには帰ってらっしゃいね。
Today was the day of the barbecue party. That was the Hinamezawa Fighters' victory celebration. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Okay, so in our last episode, we were playing for the Hinamezawa Fighters baseball team, and we won, and our coach is treating us to barbecue today. That's where we're at. So with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. Reina was already at our usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later.
よっしゃ。じゃあ早速行こうかね。おじさん朝ごはんを抜いてきたからお腹ペコペコ。
さすがだな。もちろん俺も朝食抜きで万全の体制だぜ。
In top physical condition. Let's go scarf our faces.
二人とも朝食抜きは健康に良くないよ。レナはちゃんと食べたんだよ。
But if you eat something, Reina, honey, then you're not going to be hungry for all the food you get to eat.
そうかそうか。レナは偉いぞ。朝食は一日の基本だもんな。きっと成長途上なミオンを飛び越してナイスバディになってグラビアを独り占めだ。
A springy body. That's gross.
グラビアを独り占め。ナイスバディになったらレナのとこにも白馬の王子様とか来てくれるかな。
絶対来ないと思う。ケイちゃんも責任取れないならレナにいい加減なことは吹き込まないように。この子、明日から3食くらいまとめて朝食を取り出すかもしれないよ。
She might start eating more breakfast to get herself her dream daddy. Yeah, I could see Reina doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was going to come for her?
まあその話は置いといて。とにかく俺たちはいいさっさと行って大バーベキュー大会としゃれ込もうぜ。
Yeah. Let's go get some nums. The venue for said barbecue was to be the Furude Shrine Grounds where Rika-chan lived. They held events and festivals there, and barbecues too. It was a place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamezawa. When I think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something? The scenery you could see from that high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere particular to shrines was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. So Watanagashi hasn't happened yet. I know that at the beginning of this playthrough, the game told us this was the shortest chapter. It seems to be about the same length so far, but like episode 4 or 5, I think is typically when the Watanagashi appears. But anyway, continuing on. When we arrived on the shrine grounds, the Hinamezawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and had begun setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Satoko and Rika-chan were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us.
忘れずにちゃんと来ましたわね。皆さんが来なければその分お肉が多く食べられましたのに。実に残念でございましたよ。
You don't fool me, Satoko. You wanted me to come.
サトコ。俺たちが来た以上、まさか霜降りが一口でも食べられるなんて思ってるんじゃないだろうな。以前ここで弁当を食った時を思い出せ。俺とサトコの致命的なリーチさで今回も圧倒してやるぜ。
なんですって？そんなの絶対に許せませんわ。
Oh, we're just teasing you.
サトコは目の前で牛肉を頬張るのを見るだけだ。安心しろ。ピーマンやナスは譲ってやるからな。
Not the peppers and onions, not the vegetables.
僕もサトコにかぼちゃを焼いたのをいっぱいいっぱい譲ってあげますです。
Satoko heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. She took my overwhelming reach into account. She knew it wasn't just a threat, it could actually happen. We're not gonna do that.
サトコはかぼちゃが大好きだって。監督のことだから日本全国から特産のかぼちゃを山盛り集めてきてくれるね。 ね。
よかったな、サトコ。どのカボチャも
You'll have your pick of the squash.
朝から晩までずーっと3食カボチャ三昧だ。
I'm gonna guess by her face she's probably not a big vegetable lover. I get it.
レナみんながいじめますな。
Don't pick on Satoko. Don't pick on crybaby Satoko. Satoko tried to leap into Reina's chest. Oh no. Clearly given another second, Reina's mock punches would have piled us on the ground. Just before Satoko hit Reina, I grabbed her by the nape of the neck and pulled her back. Like a stray kitten. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Reina, when I caught her leaping, when I caught the leaping, crying Satoko, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. And then she beat the shit out of us. Bam, bam, bam.
ダメだよケイチ君。これはレナのなんだよ。
This is Reina's.
お持ち帰り。
This is my baby. This is my baby Satoko.
レナさん。その調子でミオさんとリカもやっつけてですわよ。
Go kick their asses.
ちょっとタマ。
Bam, bam, bam.
さあ、リカはどこですの？いた。レナさん、あそこでしたよ。待っててね、サトコちゃん。すぐにやっつけちゃうよ。そうしたらすぐにお持ち帰り。サトコがひどいのです。リカちゃんもかわいい。お持ち帰り。
I'm cute. How come Rika-chan doesn't get freaking punched in the side of the head?
リカ、そう思わないでございましてよ。
Satoko laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Reina's unproductive game of tag while we watched them, sprawled out on the ground.
大丈夫ですか、
Oh.
前原さん。
So this is Dr. Irio. We met him in the last chapter. He's the coach of the baseball team.
園崎さんも。
Coach came over and lent us a hand.
まあ私たちのいつものコミュニケーションですから、どうぞお気遣いなく。
いつも顔面にあざが残るようなコミュニケーションはもう嫌だぞ。
You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. Made us start to laugh too. Satoko's laughter, Rika-chan's yelling, and Reina's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. We're cute. I can't believe that we didn't get spared by Reina's wrath. That's messed up. Adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the salad oil dripped down onto the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we all cheered again.
これ本当にすごいお肉だよ。監督、本当に大奮発したんだね。
We did tell him not to go cheap.
約束ですからね。これなんかグラムいくらするか知ってます？本当に奮発したんですよ。
当然ですわ。三流のお肉じゃ昨日の私の大活躍をねぎらうには値しませんでした
Well,
よ。
again, he is a doctor, so I mean, my heart is not bleeding for him to have to buy us, like, expensive meat. I'm sure he can afford it. I know it's a small town clinic, but...
そうだね。今日の主賓はさとこちゃんに違いないね。
確かに最後のホームランを打ったのは紛れも、しかも油断させたといえ小細工なしの特大アーチ。
さとこは運動神経は良いのです。
悪いどころか世代的には突出してるんじゃない？私なんかと比べても運動能力は決して劣らないでしょ。
さとこちゃんってひょっとすると将来はスポーツ界で大活躍できるかもね。なんだか褒めちぎられて照れますわね。むしゃむしゃ。
Musha musha. Satoko, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute.
前原さん。重い。
Demita-kun and Okamura-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate.
おお、これぞまさしくバーベキューの主人公の到着じゃねえかよ。
The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. The grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzled off. Gulp. Need a lot of heat for cooking. Something on metal skewers, so they had grilled the whole plate at once.
やっぱりこれがなきゃバーベキューとは言わないですよね。
Kebabs. Been forever since I've had a kebab. Kebabs are great.
俺も手を貸すから早く持っていこう。よいしょよいしょ。
わー、見て見て、すごいのが来たよ。
Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and a big piece of meat on it. I also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. My right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. The left was a cup of juice that I could chug down. This didn't make you want to dance? You weren't a man. If you don't have meat in your mouth, you're not a man.
もう我慢できないぜ。ガブッといくぞ。
I'm gobbling it down.
ガブッと。
Gobble gobble.
まだまだケイちゃん。ほらほら、一応セレモニーってことで。
But we want to eat now. I want the tasty nums
みんな
now.
注目。
Coach, with a cup of beer in his hand, mounted the nearby beer cooler. This was supposed to be a victory celebration after all. Needed an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. Every second this goes on, a little more of the food's freshness goes away. What? Satoko stomped down on the back of my foot.
まったく、いい年の男が卑しいですわね。もう少しエレガントに我慢できませんの？
俺ってつくづく思ってることが顔に出ちゃうのな。
These girls are really good at reading my facial expressions.
じゃあみんないいですか？昨日は大勝利でしたね。すごいピッチャーの登場で苦戦もしましたが、こちらも同じくらい頼もしい助っ人の登場で見事逆転勝利を収めることができました。
Clap, clap, clap. Both my hands were full, so the adults and older brothers gave us a round of applause.
今日はその戦勝祝賀会です。約束通り美味しいお肉をいっぱい用意しましたからね。今日はいっぱい食べて次の試合への活力にしていきましょう。
Give me the meat to gobble. I want to gobble all of the meat. After a few words of thanks to our fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led us in a toast. They say that when toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup. But we were young. The toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. After that, it got really lively, with everyone congratulating one another for things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshin pitcher.
まあ俺の活躍も含めてあれはサトコの活躍だったわけだがな。
確かにサトコの作戦ではあったけどさ、亀田を口説き落とすなんて真似はケイちゃん以外にはできなかったわけだし、十分ケイちゃんも称えられるに値する活躍をしてるよ。
Right, we won him over with perverted dessert talk. It was really, really gross and it made me uncomfortable. Only Keiichi. Who else but Keiichi?
あの後、亀田くんと一緒にケーキを食べに行ったんだよね。なんだかすっごく仲良さそうだった。
ライバル関係から男同士の友情が芽生えちゃったわけ。
Yeah, we were talking about an old-timey maid that was feeding us strawberry shortcake, but it was all very sexual and it was gross. I didn't like it.
そういうのってなんだかその
I violently brushed through Vena's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. She has yaoi scenes dancing in her head. Now then, where's the hero, or rather the heroine, Satoko? Oh, there she is. Satoko was with Rika-chan in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday. And her teammates spared no compliment for her, since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from a Koshin picture was something else. Satoko was more loquacious than usual. It seemed she was in a great mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her. But she was the leading actress for today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Satoko, going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. But both of those were the real Satoko. I didn't care which it was, her smiling happily or making a big lively fuss like this. Just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever.
楽しそうですね。あんなにはしゃいで。
Coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed at Satoko from afar like I had been doing, he addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her.
さとこちゃんの笑顔を見てると、なんだか心が洗われる気がしません。
He smiled, refreshed, searching for confirmation. I felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment, I played it off.
そうですか？あいつの笑顔じゃ皿一枚ろくに洗えないと思うんですけどね。
Burn.
それを聞いたらさとこちゃん怒るんでしょうね。でもそんな彼女もとってもキュートなんですよ。
Leaving our cuteness aside, I can understand him thinking Satoko getting angry for being teased would be funny.
イリアさんでしたっけ？
入江です。でもみんな監督って呼びますからね。前原さんも監督と呼んでくださるととても嬉しいです。
As he said that, Coach Ire smiled, blushing a little.
監督はサトコのことを気に入ってるみたいですね。
Didn't have any real basis for saying that. It was just what I felt to be true.
ええ、気に入っていますよ。大好きです。彼女がもっと大きくなったら求婚しようと思ってます。
What? This guy really says some insane stuff, doesn't he? After being astonished by this, I hurried to put my mind back in order. I'd heard that this coach was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. I was going to ignore that part of him. He seemed like he'd be a really funny guy. That's not funny.
あれ？今前原さん驚かれました。じゃあひょっとしてさとこちゃんのこと狙っています？それは困ります。私はもう何十年も前から狙ってるんですよ。
Going after for a decade? She doesn't have decades worth of life, friend.
何十年も前には
She hasn't.
まだサトコは
She's
生ま
like
れてないと思うんですけど。
maybe 11, 12. I would put her at the highest age. Coach gave a dry grin and laughed. Was this how I should be doing it? Must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. Can we just go back to the fact that this grown man said he was in love with like an 11-year-old girl, and he wants to marry her? Which, I mean, if we break that down, that I'm assuming there's going to be sex involved in that marriage, so he's fetishizing an 11-year-old. Let's just keep going. Let's keep moving with that. I thought I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. As that conversation was happening, leaving aside the controversial statements that this coach person would spout suddenly, I learned that he was very composed, and not a bad guy by any stretch. He just wants to fuck a kid. That's not bad.
特大アーチを放ったサトコの方が賞賛に値すると思いますよ。正直、あいつにホームランを打てるなんて思わなかったです。
さとこちゃんのお兄さんはどちらかというとおとなしい文系のタイプでした。きっとさとこちゃんはその反対の才能に恵まれたんでしょう。
Her brother? Right, he meant Satoshi, one who left Satoko and ran away from home. Satoko's Nini. Satoshi Hojo.
ご存知ないですか？さとこちゃんのお兄さんです。北条聡君という彼もひなみ沢ファイターズで活躍してたんですよ。もっともっと活躍してほしかったんですが転校してしまいましてね。
Right, so in our previous chapters he was demoned away. Reina kept saying that he was transferred. Satoko says that he ran away, he transferred, he was demoned away. We don't really know the whole story.
そうなんですか。
So he transferred. Yeah, maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. Now that you mentioned it, I think it was Rena. I think she said Satoshi transferred too. I don't know the details of having him run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but...
兄貴だけ転校したんでしたっけ？そういうのって珍しいですね。
Everyone having fun was far away, and their cheerful voices distant. The chorus of the cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear, but for a very long time, Coach didn't respond to my words. So at this point I began to wonder if I had said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke.
不幸なことがあったんです。いろいろと。
After informing me about what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk a little at a time. Is he going to tell us about the murders?
もう3年になります。ちょうど今頃の時期でしたっけ。さとこちゃんのご両親が事故に遭われましてね。
Right, I think they fell off a cliff?
事故？
ええ、旅先の公園で 展望台から
Oh, from a
転落されま
viewing
して
platform. That's what it was. You're supposed to just be a little time away from the house with the family. Went for a walk on a path through a nature park after it had rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. There was the stage in which the tragedy was set. Metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time. With all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Satoko's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There's a river some tens of meters below. Water level was high due to the rain and apparently very muddy. It just sucked them under.
それで両親は
Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile and touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate the accident was and how Satoko's parents had left on an eternal vacation.
じゃあサトコって
I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. Single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Satoko without having to say it out loud. Come to think of it, Satoko lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from others. Wait. Rika-chan, her father died from illness too, and her mother soon after that. I felt like I heard she was living by herself.
ええ、今はフルデさんと一緒に生活しています。二人ともご両親がいなくて心細い日もあったでしょうが、助け合いながら生活しているようです。親の庇護なく生きていくっていうのは、あの年頃にはとても辛いことだと思います。前原さんでもその辺はわかるでしょ?
Well, I survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod.
フルデさんは特に村のお年寄りに慕われていますからね。この村にいる限り生きていくのにそんなに不自由はないでしょう。
そういえばそうですね。リカちゃんって村のマスコットみたいなところがありますからね。確かにこの村での生活には困らないよう
Yeah,
な
I was wondering about that. So, like, in an ideal society, if you have no parents and you're like 10 or 11 years old, you would probably go to live like with a foster family. But I guess because Rika is so beloved in this town and like everybody kind of takes care of her, I guess that's why she gets to live by herself with Satoko. I'm assuming. It just seems like very odd that you would let two 11-year-old children live by themselves, but I guess if everybody takes care of them, Rika-chan would go meep just once and get 2 or 3 croquettes from a vendor after all. I feel like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would.
でもそれはフルデさんだけの特別。サトコちゃんも同じというわけではありません。
Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. On thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Satoko had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Was I really thinking that? No, I was only thinking the words. Couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There's no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother and I just kind of vaguely thought that it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Satoko was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? She found out my parents were coming home the other night, Satoko said. Family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal out of all. Those words held a lot more weight now. Yeah, since her entire family's freaking dead.
養子に迎えようと本気で思ったこともあります。
Okay, don't adopt her if you're planning on marrying her when she gets older, because that's like some weird Woody Allen stuff. It's a secret. Warning me, Coach put his index finger to his lips.
私はこの年になるまで本当に堅実に生活してきました。財産もあるし、信用もあります。ですが、結婚だけはしてない。法律で既婚者でないと養子だから私はサトコちゃんを養子にしてあげられないんです。残念です。サトコちゃんにパパって呼んでもらえる計画は早くも頓挫ですから。
Well, that's even weirder that you want her to call you Papa and you want to marry her. Guy spouts some crazy stuff. First I was only half listening, but midway through I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this girl Satoko to be happy. That was neither crazy nor was it nonsense. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings.
サトコちゃんの今の生活は 決して幸福なものではないでしょう。でもね、それをほんの少しでも和らげてあげたいと思ってるんです。もっとも余り物のお裾分けや力仕事のお手伝いくらいしかしてあげられませんがね。
幸せですよ、サトコ。
Huh? Coach was surprised at my having declared that.
こんなにもサトコの幸せを強く願う人間がこんなに身近にいて不幸なわけがありません。
Spoke with a serious expression, quietly, but firmly all the same. It was my approval of his feelings and my gratitude as Satoko's Nini.
ありがとう。でも、サトコちゃんには内緒にしてくださいね。
Allergies are kicking my ass this season.
彼女、私が養子にしたいなんて知ったら、こんなスケベ男なんか誰がパパと呼ぶものですかって、憤慨しそうですから。
That's absolutely perverted. Yeah. It's only perverted now. It wasn't perverted before, but you shouldn't have told us about the part about you wanting to marry her. You should have just said, I want to adopt her, and that would have been fine. Satoko may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. She'd call him that. I knew it. As if my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, and returned his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family, had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Satoko Hojo. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way. She lived energetically with a smile.
あの子にはね、いつまでも笑っていてほしいんです。
It was a naive wish, and yet it was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So the words that I spoke were the same.
奇遇ですね。俺も同じことを考えています。
おや、前原くんもですか？では私たちは仲間ですね。約束しましょう。
Or rivals.
約束？
It's a very simple one, the coach said, giving me a grin.
絶対に彼女を泣かせたりしない。
We've already made her cry a dozen times. We made her cry on the way into this barbecue because we were going to give her all the squash. We can't keep that promise. It was short and to the point.
あ、はい。俺もそれ約束します。
Yeah, we promise. We're going to make her cry in the next episode, I'm sure. Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Satoko and everyone else having a good time. She certainly lost family, but there were people watching over her. How reassuring must that have been?
仮にですよ。サトコを養子にできたらどうします？
それは難しい質問ですね。
Coach gave a wry, happy smile, then exaggeratedly tilted his head in contemplation.
まずですね、私のことをご主人様と呼ばせて優しく可憐なメイドにします。
Shion Sonozaki, what are you doing here? How does this guy always pick the craziest time to see the craziest things?
前原くん、私まだ何も言ってませんよ。
何言ってんですか？今はっきりと言ったじゃないですか。
We heard what was very obviously a woman's voice.
そうそう。サトコを自分専属のプリッチーなメイドにするってはっきり言いました。
See, that's where my mind was initially going. Thank you. I don't normally agree with Shion because I think she's very underhanded, but put her on a wooden bondage horse and make her my sex slave is where my mind initially went.
ああ、それはいいですね。さとこちゃんをプリチー。
あ、
You need to go to jail.
プリッチーは似てるようで微妙に違いますからね。日本のわびさびをミックスした和洋折衷の言葉なので注意してください。
なるほどな。いやー、日本語は本当奥が深いよな。
We need to send this man to prison right now. He needs to go somewhere.
そうそう。ケイちゃんはよく理解してます。
Every man in this series has just been like over the top, disgustingly perverted.
そういうことで。
It definitely adds to their character, but the only one that we probably hasn't been overly gross is why can't I not remember his name? The photographer, the one that's always with Takano. I can't remember his name right now. I have to go back and check. But he's always been relatively cool. He hasn't been super perverted. But every other man that we've met in this series has just been like, what? My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, and about to leave by the nape of her neck.
おい待てこら。突然現れて何をとんでもないことを言ってやがるんだ。
とんでもないことって言ったら、ケイちゃんと監督がしてたサトコラブなトークの方がよっぽどとんでもないと思いましたけど、養子縁組のあたりから再現してご覧に入れます？
You were just sitting in the shadows listening to us?
お前そんな時から息を潜めていやがったのか。
お姉にすらかなわないケイちゃんが私に歯向かおうなんて100年早いってことです。
This was Shion Sonozaki, younger of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't a scrap of the reserved quality you expect from a little sister. She was a villain no better than her older sister Mion. We met the other day in town and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for Mion. Unlike Mion, Shion said she was living in Okinomiya, and so I thought we'd never see each other again. But to think we actually would. My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. Must be what people mean when they say that something is like water off a duck's back.
シオンさん、よく来てくれましたね。来てくれないと思ってがっかりしてたんですよ。
まあ他にすることが思いつかなかったってことです。ちょっとからかいに行こうかなくらいですので。
Mission accomplished, Shion. Go back home.
僕どうしてシオンが戦勝祝賀会に呼ばれなくちゃなんないんですか。
Yeah, she didn't even play baseball with us.
こいつがどうチームの勝利に貢献したっていうのか。
それはですね、実は私がひなみ沢ファイターズのマネージャーだからなんです。
マネージャー？
The manager?
嘘だろ。そんならなんで昨日の試合にいなかったんだよ。
マネージャーはマネージャーでも幽霊マネージャーですから。てへ。
A ghost manager? That's super helpful, Shion. Good job. I didn't think I'd forgive her if she stuck her tongue out and smiled. She wasn't sorry at all.
シオンちゃんが来てくれないと試合に花がないんです。練習までとは言いませんから、試合にくらいまた昔みたいに応援に来てくれませんかね。
まあ考えておきます。ケイちゃんがひなみ沢ファイターズに移籍するんなら考えてもいいかな。私かっこいい男の子がいないと応援する張り合いがないんです。
Huh? Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? Me? A hottie?
シオン、あんたまだどこから湧いて出たの？
Get her, Mion. Kick her ass. Suddenly Mion came running over, lashed onto my shoulders, and pulled me towards her. Don't touch my Keiichi.
あー、みーちゃんの妹さんだ。しーちゃん、こんにちは。
レナさん、こんにちは。まだ1回しか会ってないのに名前を覚えてもらって光栄です。
あ、こちらこそ。レナの名前を覚えててくれてありがとう。
そんな挨拶はどうでもいいの。
Cut the bullshit.
ケイちゃんの勧誘なんてダメだからね。
Get out.
ケイちゃんは我が部のホープなんだから、野球なんかに引っこ抜かないで。
Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy. My Keiichi.
うん、ケイチ君はうちの部活の期待の新人なの。だからトレードとかは全然ダメなんだよ。
Miranda's smile had a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. It felt like this is going to turn into a bloody battle.
それは残念です。じゃあ交渉はまたの機会に。あんたに交渉権なんかないの？監督、なんでシオンまで呼んだわけ？シオンは丸1年もサボってる幽霊部
She's
員
a
だから。
ghost. Get her out of here. She's just stirring up trouble.
シオンちゃんがいると賑やかになって楽しいかなって思ったんですけどね。実に賑やかになりました。
That was what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished. Good work, coach.
ほら、ケイちゃんおいでおいで。みんなでゲームやるよ。もちろん罰ゲーム付きでね。
Oh, time for a contest.
しーちゃんもどう？ルールは簡単だし楽しいよ。
どうしようかな。私が参加すると勝っちゃいますから。お姉の部長としての面目を潰しちゃうと悪いですし。
Mion, now irritated, turned around with a glare. I'm gonna punch you right in your boob.
なんですおね。私も一緒に参加して姉妹対決にした方がいいですか？多分やめといた方がお姉のためだと思いますけど。あっかべー。塩なんか混ぜてやらない。仲間外れ。べーだ。
Whoa. Mion just avoided a direct confrontation. Seemed like the twins were completely incompatible with each other. Yeah, they're not friends.
混ぜてあげないの？みーちゃんとの対決見たかったかな？
私、シオン
I
嫌い。
hate Shion.
あいつと戦うのは苦手なの。
An angry Mion dragged me away. Slide.
頑張ってくださいね。ここで応援してますから。ケイちゃん、ファイト。おう。
Shion waved her hand at us, reveling in the bliss of teasing Mion. Alright. Club activities had begun, which meant I needed to clear my mind. What was today's battle? Today's punishment game. I'd take anything on.
ほらほらケイチさん、覚悟なさいませよ。今日は徹底的に行きますわよ。
おう、上等だぜ。サトコだろうと誰だろうと
Bring it
手加
on.
減無用でぶっ潰してやるぜ。
そこレナは漁夫の利で優勝だよ。僕はそれに小判ザメで優勝を狙いますで
I'll
す。
get all the manta rays and ride them to victory. Get it, Aqua Girl.
リカちゃんが小判ザメみたいにペター。お持ち帰り。
Flat like a manta ray? She's talking about like in her chest?
よしみんな。
Marina says some very weird things too.
今日は大人数だから簡単で分かりやすいゲームにしよう。今日のゲームはね。
Today's game is... Bum, 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 bum. I don't think we ever finished our contest from the last episode either. The Watanagashi Festival chapter. I don't think we ever finished our contest of the... We were playing board games, and we never finished that. That's a little upsetting. Anyway, we're now on a new contest. Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help clean up after the barbecue. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone had ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay, okay. Was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny?
いやいや、あの時のケイちゃんの顔。
So we don't know what game we played, but we obviously lost.
お前らそれでも人間かよ。みたいな。
ちくしょう。チョキの回収までは作戦通りだったのに。
Rock, paper, scissors.
あそこでサトコとリカちゃんの裏切りさえなければ。
It's going great while we had maintained a united front, but Satoko had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh.
だから北条を信じちゃいけないって警告したんですよ。
Kamita-kun and Okamura-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Satoko's traps pretty early on as well.
さあ、富田君たちの分まで頑張るつもりだったのにな。
Once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet.
で、部活メンバーの最下位には何か罰ゲームがあるってことになってるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
Shion remarked, as though forcing me to recall something I'd tried to forget, even for a moment.
そうだったかな。
そういえば前原さん、委員長と罰ゲームを決めるときかなり熱くなってましたけど、一体何を罰ゲームにしたんですか？
さっきお姉にエンジェルモートの制服を調達してくれって頼まれたんですけど、それと何か関係あります？できる限り大きめのサイズでって言われたんですけど。
Are we gonna have to wear an Angel Mort uniform, like those little skimpy waitress outfits? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were giving me these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. I'm guessing that maniacal laughter probably means yes. All I could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more I laughed, the more I felt like I was actually funny. Ugh. I lost. Like bad.
あれあれ前原さんどうしちゃったんですか？ 笑ったり泣いたり吠えたり。
いいんです。あれは嫌がってるふりのジェスチャーなんです。罰ゲームを口実に得られる貴重な経験に興奮を隠せないだけなんです。ねえ。
Arg.
何が貴重な経験とは。
Held my head in my hands in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a three-letter word. It was sob. Coach gently put his hands on my shoulders. Was he comforting me?
前原さん、苦境を受け入れなければならない時はですね、厳しい指導を受けているメイドであると想像する
Stop
んです。
saying weird stuff to me. I'm just a boy.
ほら、絶望的なシチュエーションが
No, I don't
な
want
ん
to
だ
be
か楽しそう
disciplined.
になってきませんか。いいじゃないですか。
I want you to go away. Red in the face and indulging his imagination with his hand on his penis, still holding my shoulders, Coach said, "Oh, master," and started twirling around like a ballerina. No. I had to wonder what kind of word associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. First thing that comes into mind when I think of disciplining certainly isn't maid.
富田君、岡村君、君たちの監督は実に面白いな。こんなのでよく監督が務まるな。
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. Then they added that he was a really nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a person like that. He doesn't always think with his junk. Coach's questionable revolutions came to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast.
では、お片付けを続けましょう。前原さんは力持ちみたいですからね。プレートを水場に持って行って洗っていただけますか。
了解です。
They hoisted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clinging to it, and looked for the wash basins. Ugh, these are heavy. Where are the wash basins? Over there? Figuring I should make it there before my arms gave out, I headed towards it at a trot. Don't trip. A lot of the adults who had been helping out were using the wash basins, so I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them, and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall too, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet there. I know she thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as these, but it'd probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet to open up back there. I turned the faucet, and water, much nicer looking than it, gushed forth. Wait. I turned the faucet, and water much nicer looking than it gushed forth. It was like an old faucet, I guess. I put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand to try and rub it clean. It didn't go very well.
はい。スポンジとクレンザー。そんなの水だけで洗ったって無理です。
Thanks, Shion. Shion. Threw a brand new sponge in a container filled with cleaner to me.
お、サンキュー。
そんなの洗い場に置いて大人たちに任せちゃえばいいのに。つくづくケイちゃんっていい人です。
Got the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile.
シオンがひなみ沢ファイターズのマネージャーだったなんて驚いたぜ。そういうのはめんどくさがってやらないやつだと思ってた。
Well, she doesn't. She doesn't do stuff like that because it's a bother, because she didn't even show up.
ええ、めんどくさいですよ。ですから今は完全に幽霊ですけどね。
Yeah, thanks for nothing, Shion. Thanks for coming and eating our food and doing
帰って
nothing.
きてほしいって言ってたじゃないか。たまには帰ってきてやれよ。
まあ気が向いたら。
Shion made it sound like the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Whoops. Couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with conversation, so I decided to take my task seriously. Shion neither offered to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet.
そうそう、聞きましたよ。昨日の試合、ケイちゃんが大活躍したそうじゃないですか。
It was really Satoko, but we
褒
helped.
めるなら俺よりもホームランを決めたサトコの方だろう。あいつ運動神経良かったんだな。俺驚いたよ。
サトシ君とは大違いです。きっと運動神経は妹に全部取られちゃったに違いないですね。
Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence.
サトシ君？
北条サトコの兄です。北条サトシ君。あ、そっか。ケイちゃんって今年引っ越してきたんでしたっけ？なら会ったことありませんね。
I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi.
会ったことはないけど少しは知ってるよ。
Yeah, she goes to a different school.
確か 両親が亡くなった後、転校したんだよな。
It is weird that she knows about him. She goes to Okinomiya, right? And he would have been here in Hinamizawa. I mean, unless, like, she met him through her sister. I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did.
転校？誰がそんなこと言ったんですか？
Everyone said he transferred. Hadn't yet realized that Shion's tone had changed slightly.
いや、誰って？
Why are you standing directly behind me, honey?
誰だっけかな。うん、誰かに聞いたんだよ。転校したって。
その誰かって誰ですか？誰かに聞いたから言ってるんですよね、転校って。
誰に聞いたかなんてよく覚えてないよ。転校だって言うならそれでいいだろ。別に問題があるわけじゃないし。
ありますよ。転校届が出されたわけですか？学校とかに。それを誰かが見た？それとも聞いた？
At that time, I only noticed how awfully caught up in that Shion was. Also how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look. Why did she care so much?
シオン、なんだよお前。目がマジだぞ。
Yeah, it's really weird. With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath, pretended to fix her hair, and went back to her composed expression from before.
すみません。でもケイちゃん、よく知りもしないでサトシ君のこと、転校とか言わないでください。本当にお願いしますね。
That's very strange. Like, Shion isn't super close with anyone else in our group. But she got really upset about Satoshi. I must have said something I shouldn't have. I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry.
なんとなく転校と聞かされて、そうだと信じてたんだよ。じゃあ、実際は違うのか？
Like, not even Satoko gets this upset about her brother. It was, of course, preceded by his parents. He had left his sister and run away. But I wanted to try and avoid using the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized that she was intimidating me and lowered her voice.
すみません。別にケイちゃんを責めてるわけじゃないんです。ちょっと言葉がきつすぎましたね。謝ります。
別に気にしてないよ。
That was a fib. Actually, a little scared even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? Before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave.
おい、シオン。
じゃあ、頑張ってください。ケイちゃんのプレートで最後みたいですよ。洗い物。
Final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation were we that I got pretty late. Turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. Whoosh! I violently scrubbed the plate. That was really weird. I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I had finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I realized it, and as the heat that had stuck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. That was very strange. Like, Satoshi is Satoko's brother. She told us he ran away. Nobody else in our group of friends has been like that adamant about Satoshi. That's very weird. Okay, everyone, can I have your attention? Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks. And with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Satoko and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things.
人を裏切るやつはいつか自分も裏切られる。いい見本だな。
そんなこと圭一さんに言われたくありませんわ。レナは誰の口車にも乗らなかったからね。2位になれたんだよ。レナはなかなか嘘に引っかからないのです。勘がいいのですよ。
I'm surprised. Seems like she would fall for the first lie to come her way. No, Reina's actually very intuitive and very smart. She helped out a lot in the Watanagashi chapter.
他人を食い物にしてやろうと欲張って、真っ先に自分が食い物に。友達を紹介すれば紹介するほど高収入なんて、バカな商法に引っかかるんじゃないよ。
へいへい。努力しますよ。とほほほ。
Sob. And good friends would lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. Reminded me of how we were all such great friends.
それよりもケイイチさんの罰ゲームが楽しみでございますわね。でも本当に実現できますの？店長さんもそんなの嫌だって言うと思いましたよ。どうだろう。ケイイチくんすっごく可愛くな
We're
る
not
かも。
gonna... Are we gonna, like, be a waiter at Angel Mort? We're gonna wear the outfit and serve people?
なるかも。見てみたいかも。はう。
I thought we were just gonna wear it for our friends.
僕もとても楽しみなのですよ。転ばせてフキフキをさせますです。
Thanks, Rika.
ああ、それはいいね。
なぜここ一番で俺は勝てないんだ。今日は絶対に勝ちたい。この罰ゲームは誰かにやらせてみたいと思うといつも負ける。足りないのか。勝利への信念が足りないのか。
Well, stop coming up with such perverted games. And you'll stop losing to them.
敗者の嘆きは蜜の味ですわね。かわいそうなのです。
Pat pat.
ケイイチくんもこうやって強くなっていくんだね。去年のみーちゃんを見てるみたい。
Michan last year? What? Did she always lose and moan about it in the past? Very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president, Mion, was once like that. Oh, so Mion used to be like the club
余計なこと
loser.
は言わなくていいの。
And now it's me. Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Satoko's sleeve.
さて、僕たちはそろそろ行かないといけないのです。あ、お夕飯のお買い物に行かないといけませんわね。
Wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home.
じゃあまた明日。学校で会おうね。
Everyone waved at each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
じゃあ行こう。
Began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it were never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been that day.
そういえばまだ6月なんだよね。今年は梅雨とか全然ないで、いきなり夏みたいな感じだね。
Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, of hydrangeas and snails. I haven't seen a real raisin season since transferring here.
週間予報によると、週明けあたりからはもうちょっと梅雨らしい天気になるらしいよ。大雨注意とか言ってたから、綿流しにぶつからなきゃいいんだけど。
そうなんだ。やっぱり梅雨は梅雨らしい方がいいよね。レナは梅雨の長雨って結構好きだよ。
長雨なんて気がめいるだけだって。ねえケイちゃん。
ああ。
A little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. Were we gonna ask about Satoshi? When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion needed to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. Yeah, I'm not either. I felt like a child completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion.
サトコに兄貴って言ったよな。サトシって名前だっけ？
As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Reina and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? But they made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested.
サトシってどうしたんだっけ？引っ越したんだっけ？
It was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance.
うん。
Mion turned around and looked to Reina for assistance. Reina looked between us, then quietly and softly spoke.
あれ言わなかったかな。転校しちゃったんだよ。
Right, but, I mean, did he really transfer, though? When I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me.
転校って誰がそんなことを言ったんだよ。
I only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it in exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark.
本当に転校したなら転校届とかが学校に提出されるはずだろ。でもそんなの実際には出てないんじゃないのか。
We should preface this with saying, like, this is what Shion told us, because now we're sounding like an asshole. Mion and Reina, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. That they were only hiding the fact that Satoko's older brother ran away out of consideration for her.
別に二人を責めてるわけじゃないんだぜ。ただサトシはどうしたのかなって聞いてみてるだけのつもりで。
I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I lashed out at them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun, but now... Why did I go and say something that made all of that meaningless? Couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough. Let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up.
別に隠そうとか騙そうとかそういうつもりじゃないのを分かってほしいんだけど。
Now we sound like an asshole. Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuses of a child who's been presented with evidence of her own mischief.
サトシは転校したわけじゃないんだよ。
Right, we knew that. Mion said, resigning herself, but I felt bad for pushing her to say that. Why did she say transfer schools like that? So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize, but right before that...
帰ってこないの。
What? Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Reina was extremely clear and resolute.
帰ってこないって。
ある日から家に帰ってこないの。
Won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say that he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought you'd only say it like Reina did if he wasn't capable of coming back. He wouldn't say it like that when he was talking about someone who ran away from home.
帰ってこないってどういう意味だよ。じゃあサトシはどこへ行ったんだよ。
He was demoned away. So when they say transferred, they're not saying transferred school. They're saying like transferred to like another plane of existence. Reina's world choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold that I couldn't muster a response right away.
だからさ、レナの言う通りなんだよ。ある日を境に、サトシは家に帰ってこなかった。
After what day? May noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Reina had said.
まあ村中みんなで探したし、警察も方々を探してくれたよ。それで家出じゃないかって話になってさ。
Right, that's what we had heard.
家出じゃないかって話になって。
Running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of letter apologizing to Satoko. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home.
警察の人が調べたらさ、サトシってバイトとかでコツコツとお金を貯めててさ、それをいなくなった日に全部下ろしてたのが分かったんだよ。で、名古屋駅だかでサトシによく似た人が目撃されたとかで。
He drew all of his savings to fund his escape from home, was that it? Seemed consistent enough to me, but before I could say anything...
私はそんなの嘘だと思う。サトシ君は家出なんかじゃない。
declared Reina shortly.
ちょっと待てよ。転校したわけでもなく、引っ越したわけでもなく、それで家出したわけでもないなら、一体サトシはどうして？
やめなよ、レナ。
Mion whispered to her. Reina, however, continued without interruption. And then she said this.
だってこれはお社様のたたりだもの。
Oh. Okay, this is weird. Because usually the other two characters, Takano and the photographer, I think it's Tomita. I'm totally blanking on the name right now. I don't know why. Usually they're the two that tell us about Oyashiro-sama's curse. So now like the timeline has changed a little bit. So now Reina and Mion are going to be ones to break it to us? Took some time before I understood what Reina meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little.
サトシ君は消える前に私に教えてくれ
What is going on with your
た。
eyes, girl?
誰かに見張られている。後をつけられている。家の中にまでついてくる。寝るとき枕元に立って見下ろしてるって教え。
やめなよレナ。
それは間違いなくお社様のたたりの前兆。きっとサトシ君は心のどこかでひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうという気持ちがあったんだと思う。それをお社様は許さなかった。
だからやめなって。
お社様はひなみ沢の守り神様。ひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうとする人を絶対に許さない。私はそれを謝った。でもサトシ君はきっと謝らなかった。だからお社様のたたりに会ってしまったに
She's very intense right now. So, Reina is also a transplant. She used to live in Hinamizawa, and then they left, and she did some, like, crazy shit. I think she broke all the windows of her school with a baseball bat before they moved back home. So she's saying that she was cursed, and then in our Watanagashi chapter, Shion was talking about how she always felt like she was being watched whenever she called us on the phone, and how she thought she heard footsteps and thought that she was always being watched. So it's like the same thing.
お社様のたたり。
They're all experiencing the same kind of curse, which is weird that they all have the same observations. I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's curse.
警察が家出だって決めつけたって信じない信じない。そんなのたたりだと認めたくない村の偉い人たちが決めただけの嘘っぱち。お社様のたたりは信じようと信じまいと確かに。
Calm down, honey. Wham! I'm assuming Mion probably just slapped her in the face. Mion struck Reina in the head. Not in a joking way either.
いい加減にしろって言ってるでしょ。恩和の私でも島には怒るよ。
Pushing her to her limits. Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at the moment. For a few moments after being hit, Reina looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind because, after a little while, she regained her original calm expression. That was weird. See you at school tomorrow. We arrived at the place we always put up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. Voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. They always put up with Mion here, leaving just Reina and me. I don't want to be alone with
あ
Reina.
のさ、ケイちゃん、前に漫画化すって約束したじゃない。よかったらやってく。
Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone.
あ、そうなんだ。
Yeah. Bye, Reina. Go home,
じ
honey.
ゃあレナは先に帰ってるね。
Maybe she realized it. Maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Reina quickly said she'd go home before us.
じゃあね、レナ。また明日。
Bye. Go walk it off, Reina.
また明日ね。ケイチくんもあまりお邪魔しすぎないようにね。もう夕方だから。
ちょっと本を借りに寄るだけだよ。じゃあな。
Concerning the fun day we had, it was a very insipid, lonely parting. We were having fun, and
さ
then
っきの
Reina
あ
pulled a
まり気
crazy.
にしないでね。
In a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Reina.
いや別に俺の方が悪かったと思う。
サトシの話は別に隠してたわけじゃないんだよ。あまり触れない方がいい話だからさ。
At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interaction with Reina, I understood it so well it hurt that I should never talk about it again. So, like, I wonder how many other people in the village are as fervent about Oyashiro-sama's curse as Reina was, because when we were playing our Tanagashi chapter, it seemed like everyone believed in it. So, actually, if that's the case, then with Shion, too. No, this is the bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. Shouldn't have been interested in it at all. That's why I really had to think about it. That way everyone got so irritated. Idiot. Stop this, Keiichi Maibara. By the time I tried to warn myself, I'd accidentally spoken already.
もう二度と聞かないからさ。正直なところを教えてくれないか。一体サトシに何があったんだ。家でなんだろう。
For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, Unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly.
お社様のたたりの話は聞いたことある？
Well, not in this chapter, we haven't, no.
ほんの少しくらいなら。
Got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oishiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worship at the shrine we had the barbecue at today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people worked on site died or something, and people blamed that on Oishiro-sama's curse. That's how it was.
サトシの死んだ親ってのがさ、ダムの誘致派でね。
え？ひなみ沢の人って村中でダムに反対してたんじゃないのか？
Not the Houjous.
村人なのにダムの賛成派もいたのか？
Dam project that would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I heard the village got all together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe that there were villagers who were supporting it.
まあ、いろいろと事情もあってね。ダム計画に反対する人ばかりでもなかったんだけどさ。で、その親ってのが誘致派のリーダー格だったんだよ。
誘致派のリーダー格。つまりサトコとサトシの親がってことだよな。
Tomatake. Sorry, I just got the photographer's name in my head. It's been bothering me. I'm like, it's not Tomita, because that's the little boy. Tomatake and Takano. That's who told us before. Sorry, that just like jumped out of my head. It's been bothering me for like the last 30
ダ
minutes.
ム工事に伴って多額の保証金を用意してたからね。そのお金が欲しくてダム計画に賛成してた人たちも結構いたんだよ。
Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was in general not very affluent. Not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so given the situation. It just happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents, who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice. And they died for it.
運悪くその両親がさ、
Sucks.
お社様を祀るお祭りの日に事故死しちゃったんだよね。それでお社様のたたりにあったんじゃないかってことになっちゃったわけ。
Thought back to what Coach had told me today. They went to a nature park on a family outing and fell from a cliff.
で、サトシが家出したのまでお社様のたたりってことにされちまったわけか。
まあ、うん、そんな感じ。
It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details.
もう説明するまでもないと思うけどさ、サトコにとっては両親の事故もサトシの家出も、そしてお社様のたたりなんて話も愉快な話じゃないのはわかるでしょ。
Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod slightly. Ooh, I could only nod silently.
だからさ、私たちはサトコの家族の話には触れないことにしてる。サトシのことは仮に聞かれても転校したってごまかすことにしてる。その辺の事情を汲み取ってもらえるよね。
Yeah, because people like Reina will go nuts. Wanted to protect Sadako's happiness, her smile. Someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with.
ああ、わかるよ。俺も軽はずみなことを聞いたと後悔してる。
When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. Without understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance.
じゃあな、ミオ。今日は悪かったな。また明日な。
うん、じゃあね。
We waved to each other. Then suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me.
ケイちゃん、あとさ、サトコにだけじゃなく、レナの前でもサトシの話は慎んでくれるかな。
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to Reina or Satoko or Shion about Satoshi anymore.
さっきので分かったと思うけどさ、レナってどういうわけかお社様のたたりの話だけは
Yeah.
笑い事で済まないんだよ。
She flipped.
転校してきた時から。
Yeah, judging by how Reina was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. In our Onikakushi chapter, we found out that she had transferred to another town with her family. They had moved, and then she started behaving very weirdly, and she took a baseball bat and she smashed all the windows in her school, And I think she also hurt a couple boys. I think she beat the shit out of them. But now since she's been living here, she's been fine. So I think that she's so serious about it because she was affected by the curse too. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us. But if Mion hadn't been here, what might have happened?
どうしてレナはあんなにマジになるんだろうな。
Not only Reina either, but Shion too.
知らない。レナはね。あ、これ内緒だよ。言ったら絶好だよ。
Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further.
言わないよ。で、レナが何だってんだよ。
お社様のたたりに会ったことあるんだって。
え？
私は悪いけど被害妄想過剰な何かの思い込みじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。でも本人はそう言ってるし、茶化すとかなり怒る。レナは普段はちゃらけてるけど怒るとかなり怖い。
レナの前でも言うなってことだろ、サトシの話。
Let's just not talk about Satoshi anymore.
できれば
Anyone.
この話題にも二度と触れるべきじゃないと思うね。レナのためにもサトコのためにもさ。
Yeah, let's just not bring it up anymore. Done. Throw it away. For everyone else's too. If I must say, for your own sake too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mion made sure I knew that.
そうだな。うん。わかったよ。
ありがとう。
Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I watched her go a little dazed and then started walking myself. Satoko's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. Cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me and I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday, and today we had a blast at the big barbecue party too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all those fun times. I have to be more careful starting tomorrow. I'll put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell, I'm going to let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. The more I thought about it, the more I'd be careful starting tomorrow. The more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I had already put an end to all those enjoyable days with what I'd just done. Hey, wait. Calm down, Keiichi Marbara. Gears of Destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. Doesn't make any sense to think my life will be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade. Until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today.
変だぞ俺。さっきのみんなとのやりとり、ちょっと気にしすぎだぜ。
Wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long. I mean, it's not really our fault. Like, we just asked a simple question. Actually, it's really, if it's going to be anyone's fault, it should be Shion's fault, because Shion got super pissed at us. Oh, we have 3 new tips. The slacking manager. I bet that's all about Shion Sonozaki. We got an achievement unlocked, mystery meat. Let's see our tips.
シオンさんも少しは手伝ってください。
女の子に重いものを運ばせようって言うんですか？そんなだからいい年になっても相手が見つからないんですよ、監督は。
Well, that's part of it. The other part is the really bizarre, perverted stuff that comes out of his mouth on a pretty regular basis.
ですね。そういうのを曰くこう言います。余計なお世話です。
You tell her, coach. None of your business. He was loading the station wagon with heaps of equipment we'd use for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their way.
さて、シオンさんはどうし、あなた、ここまでは何で来ました？自転車でした。積んで送って差し上げますよ。
スクーターだからいいです。お心遣いだけで嬉しいってことにしときます。
今日は来てくれて嬉しかったですよ。やはりマネージャーさんがいないとパッとしませんからね。
まだ私マネージャーなんですか？1年も丸々サボってんだから。こんな無能マネージャー いい加減に解雇するべきだと思いますよ。
What a surprise. Shion's not helping.
ええ、シオンさんが辞めたいって自分で言えたらいつでも解雇してあげますよ。
ずるいな。早く解放してくださいよね。試合があるたびに来ないかと電話がかかってくるの、もううざくてかなわないんですから。
シオンちゃんももっともっと素直になれば、とってもキュートで可愛い女の子なのに。お父さんは悲しいですよ。一体どこでねじ曲がってこんなにひねくれてしまったんだか。ああ、お父さんの愛の抱擁で力強く包み込めば目が覚めますか。
Please don't hug
で
this
したら
girl.
遠慮なく。ほら。
I don't like that little boner sound at the end. Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding. Please don't hug this child.
何も変わってない。監督が変な人で、みんなのにぎわいも何も変わってないのに。
サトシ君だけいないとおっしゃりたいのですか。
Oh. Could that be why she hasn't been showing up to the games? I forgot. Satoshi was on the baseball team. He was on the Himizawa Fighters, and she was the manager. She hasn't been there in over a year. Is the reason she's slacking because she doesn't want to go to the baseball games because it reminds her of
帰ってきます
Satoshi?
よ。きっと待っている人がいるんですから。
Oh, I just pieced that together.
勝手なこと言っててください。
And the coach realizes it.
彼も罪作りな人ですよね。こんな可愛い彼女を置き去りにしてど
Girlfriend.
こへ行ってしまったんだか。
彼女、誰が
Oh. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. It just clicked in my head. She manages the baseball team. Satoshi was on the baseball team. He's been gone for over a year. That's why she got so upset when Keiichi said that he transferred.
もう、いつまで笑ってるんですか監督。
Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while.
ではまたお会いしましょうね。試合にもたまには応援に来てくださいよ。
まあ、気が向いたら。私、マネージャーなんか全然もうやる気ないんですから。
いいんですよ。あなたが嫌なら嫌がるのを無理やりってのは私の性分ではありませんからね。
ああ、はいはい。すみませんね、すみませんね。私の負けです。気が向いたらまた応援に来ますので、今日は堪忍してください。
おっと、もうこんな時間。機材返す約束の時間が。先方をもうだいぶ待たせてますね。では今日はこの辺で。また次の試合でお会いしましょう。
ええ、気が向いたらね。さよなら、監督。
That was a really cool and really helpful tip. I would not have pieced those things together if it wasn't for those tips. These are really cool. I like these. They add a little bit extra to the story. If we didn't read that tip, it probably wouldn't have changed the gameplay for us at all, but now things start to click. Autopsy report. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. 1. Entire body bound in restraints. Traces left behind from the body seems to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appear to have been bound especially tightly. Highly likely the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to suggest that there was at least one more other than the one who suffered these body parts holding on the victim's head. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them most likely being scissors or shears. 5 nails penetrate in the Sonozaki household. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand, so this person was killed by someone in Hinumizawa. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of the finger on each hand, for a total of 30. These fingers were nailed to wooden planks 20 square centimeters large. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely the table was originally designed for such a purpose. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. Incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in medical methodology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. What? They were alive? After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. Victim likely died as a result of this process. That's terrifying. So you have 30 nails in the joints of your fingers while they're cutting you open and removing your organs, and you're still alive? Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Houjous rivers. Oh, okay. So in the beginning of our Tatarigoroshi chapter, a landlord and one of his tenants found a decomposing body in the drain beside their complex. This is the body. It was killed by someone in Hinamizawa. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. To Uishi-san, here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the Uji River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having a possible relation to the S group. What are your thoughts, Uishi-san? Okay, that was helpful too. I mean, I assume that whoever it was probably murdered in Hinamizawa, but we haven't... There's been no mention of that body since, like, the first couple minutes of the first chapter that we played here. And then it hasn't been brought up again. East round 3.
出ましたね、ロンチュンドラさん、マンガンです。
What?
なんすかそれ。なんでドラが3つも入んすか。
Are we like playing Mahjong?
バカモンが大石がテンパイしたの分かっててカンドラ増やしよってからに自業自得じゃぞ。
チュンさらしたらドラを上乗せするぐらいしかやることないじゃないですか。厄介さらしたらドラそばは切っちゃダメですよ。
Uishi grinned meaningfully at his buddies and, swearing, began breaking down the walls and reforming them.
時に大石さんどうですか。割れましたか。なんじゃい。ああ、例のドブ川惨殺死体の話かの。何か手がかりはあったのか。
ねえ、まあ裏はそっちで取ってくださいよ。
さすが。何者です仏。
間宮里奈、本名は律子。
Do we know who that is?
シボネフラワーロードにあるブルーマーメイドってキャバクラに勤めてたみたいっす。
やれやれ。そらやばい店じゃな。確か園崎家の若頭の店じゃろ。園崎あった。S 号関連か。難航しそうな山だな。
Oh, so S group is code for Sonozaki.
噂じゃ
Got it.
仏さん、園崎の上納金に手をつけちゃったらしいっす。話じゃかなりシャレにならない規模らしいっす。
女が上納金に手を出したか。裏に男がいそうじゃのう。女の単独犯なんてそうそうないぞい。
どうせもう死んでますよ。死体がまだ出ないだけで。
そうそう、おいさん。女の同居人、生きてるみたいですよ。
Her cohabitant?
生きてる？じゃあこれから死ぬんでしょうね。害虫が害虫を駆除してくれるんだから。本当に素敵な自浄機能だと思いますよ。
その紐なんですがね、北条鉄平なんですよ。
Wait. Hojo?
北条誰だい。
北条鉄平。去年ひなみ沢で起こった主婦撲殺事件の仏のご主人ですよ。
Wait. Satoko has... Hold on. I'm trying to remember back from previous chapters. I think Satoko was living with her aunt. Didn't her aunt die? She was a Hojo? She had an uncle that just totally took off and abandoned them and didn't offer to take in
事
Satoko?
件の後姿を消したって聞いてましたけど。そうか。その女のところ
Oh,
に
he was
転がり
cheating
込
on
んで
his
た
wife.
か。
And then she died. She was beat to death. And then he just dipped out and left Satoko
園
alone.
崎の匂いがプンプンだの。
彼氏は今どこ
I didn't know that she still had a living uncle.
女のアパートに同居してたんすがね。女が自分を捨てたと思ったみたいで、店やたまりのあちこちを探し回ってるらしいっす。
Oh, that's an interesting development. I hope he doesn't come back. Satoko's doing so well. Living with Rika. I hope he stays lost. I didn't realize that she still had a living uncle. Those were all really good tips. Wow. Okay, cool. So this has been episode 4 of our Tatarigoroshi chapter. Pardon me. So like I said, the summers are usually very busy for us here in New Orleans. I have a lot of people that come down to visit, and I'll like play host to them. So I have my family come in this week. Once they're out and I do all like my tourist duties, I'll be back to a regular upload schedule. But for those of you that are sticking with the series and watching the other uploads on my channel, just be aware that there's going to be like some time that passes. So if you don't see me for like the next 2 weeks, just, you know that I'm thinking of you, but that I'm spending time with my family. But I appreciate y'all watching, and I will catch you for the next one. Peace.
Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.